Somebody say, put me in the game, Coach Smook. Let's go.
Remember, when you see me in the streets, holler at me. Say, put me in the game, Coach Smook.
Put me in the game, Coach Smook. Put me in the game, Coach Smook.
Like, share, subscribe. You know we keep it live.
Put me in the game, Coach Smook. 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 Put me in the game, Coach Smook.
Like, share, subscribe. You know we keep it live.
Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. Let's go, man, let's go. Appreciate y'all for being here today, man. Appreciate y'all for being here. Hopefully everything sound good. We got everything, y'all. Did y'all hear the crowd? Did y'all hear the crowd? Did y'all hear the applause? Did you hear yourselves clapping? Can y'all hear me? Let's go. Good morning, everybody. Welcome into the Coach Smook Network, chatting with Coach Smook, man. Today we have a topic, man, and we're not going to do all of the extra intro stuff. I got a lot of good cuts from yesterday that's being posted and scheduled for 10 o'clock today. So we want to get this done before 9:30, 9:45. So we are running our content out. Good morning, Mary J. Good morning, Bama. Good morning, D. Bama Swag. Good morning, Jordan Wright. Good morning, everybody in the chat on TikTok, man. We got viewers live on both sides, and we are also live on Twitter. I don't know how many viewers we have live on Twitter. Let's see. We actually can see it now. Okay. We have 19 live on Twitter. So let's go, man. Twitter's always tapping in early. But if you could, before we get all the way into the show, if you could just like and share the stream, guys. That's if we don't do anything else, just like and share the stream. And if you're not a subscriber, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. We are, I think 13 away from 3.1K, which is a great feat for us, man, over here at the Coach Smook Network. So give it up for yourselves. Yes, you can do that. And that's all y'all. That's all y'all, man. Y'all the ones spreading the word. Y'all the ones coming in, tapping in, and showing your interest in the content. And I'm gonna keep on pushing it as we continue to grow and expand the network and this brand. We have some assignments here this summer that we're going to be completing with some high schools. So you're going to see a lot of recruiting. What we're really passionate about is recruiting, but we're also getting into a few projects where we're doing some productions, everyone. I mean, like, we're going to be on the sidelines with some of these schools, being able to, go back to our roots as far as coaching, getting on the sidelines, training with players. We got, I get to make the announcement now. And I got to make this announcement. So I just been accepted into University Health and Performance Program. It's going to allow me to be able to get certified. I've had personal training certification sitting under my belt and training and all these credit hours and stuff, and I haven't done nothing with it over the past few years. And if anybody knows me, they know my passion is about fitness and wellness and all of that stuff, in accordance with to tie in with athletics and everything. So strength and conditioning is something that I aspire to do at a high level. If I'm not on the sidelines, as far as a coordinator, but just having the overall impact on the game in every aspect, having knowledge of it and being able to help, having on hands experience and help is something that I aspire to do. So this is another feat that I'm going to be able to accomplish, and I'll be going to school in July, man, in July. So I'll still be available for content. I have my team fully functional by then, working the work, doing what we do with the Coach Smook Network, providing the content that you all love. But yes, we're going to be going and utilizing all those credit hours. And when we get this certification, that's going to go towards my associates. And man, I'm excited because I never thought I'd be going back to school. So 2026, I think that's what I'm projecting to graduate. But I'm being realistic and say in 2027 because I don't want to rush it. But just to have something, I wanted to, set the bar for my kids. My parents, I think they both ended up getting like college degrees probably like 10 years ago. And so that's kind of been like the thing. My brother may have his associates. My sister, she has a lot of certifications. I have a lot of certifications, but we don't have college degrees. You know, we don't have a diploma, college diploma, I guess. So that's something that we just want to kind of do. So with that small talk out the way, that's kind of what we've been excited about, been trying to kind of hold under wraps for the network. We're going to be expanding. That's going to allow us to get into spaces and do other things as far as content and coverage, man. Jordan said we in this together. Jordan, why you playing, man? I've been there's been a proposal for me to do a pilot, and y'all would be surprised at some of the things that's under the wraps right now. What's up, Sully? Good morning. Hey, boy, I want my rematch because, man, I'm telling you, if my homegirl wasn't here last night, bro, it was up. She was real irritating. Not irritating me, but she was irritated. And like I was trying to be a good host, and it was my birthday, so, and she came and brought my Auburn homegirl, best friend. She's an Auburn fan, diehard Auburn fan, y'all. This girl got me an Alabama blanket. I was gonna bring it on screen to show y'all, but I'm not gonna show y'all today. But let's get into the show, man. I want to get into this conversation. We got a good conversation about about the SEC today. Y'all know I'm an SEC guy. We're getting more into getting outside of the SEC when we're talking college football. But for right now, transitioning to a full off-season mode, let's kind of talk about some of the narratives surrounding the quarterback position in the SEC. Everybody's been, especially in our fan base, everybody's talking about the Alabama quarterback battle between Ty Simpson and Keelan Russell. But I would like to present this topic of discussion today because I think this year in the SEC, we're going to see like a mass separation of your top-heavy teams with quality quarterbacks and your on the edge teams that need the quarterback position and may not have that. And I want to jump into that conversation and just to kind of present some thoughts for everybody to kind of digest. And so as you come in, make sure we get those likes in, man. I don't have my where's my dashboard screen at? I meant to get the poll up so when you all come in, have a slight reminder to drop the likes and y'all let me know if we have if we're having signal drops or anything like that, if we're lagging, because we're still adjusting our connection. The position I'm in the house right now, I forgot there's like a dead spot. I don't know why in this one spot in the house there's a dead spot. We're hardwired and everything, and it's still causing us to have connectivity issues, but hopefully everything is operational and functional and looking good. But again, welcome in. Today we're going to get into the conversation with Oklahoma having a new quarterback, a transfer quarterback in John Mateer, a highly rated guy, probably one of the top rated quarterbacks. If I'm being honest, he's probably going to come in this preseason rankings as far as top quarterbacks. He's going to be number 3, maybe 4 coming into the season just off of production and long returning production. So Oklahoma, they have a new quarterback situation. Does it fit well? Does it mesh over? Does it carry over well? Does it transition well? That's a question for Oklahoma. What's up over there, Dimples? Good to see you over there on TikTok. Good to see you. I'm glad I pulled the screen down so I could see TikTok's chat, because TikTok really been showing love. TikTok really been showing some mad love as of late. Not that's as of late, but TikTok has always been solid. But Oklahoma's quarterback. Then you also on the tail end of that, you have Auburn. They have a young quarterback in Deuce Knight that they're excited about. Then they also have the quarterback transfer in Jackson Arnold. That's a quarterback battle that many aren't talking about because it's presumed that Jackson Arnold is going to be the guy. But I have had sources and people over at that Auburn camp that's saying that, Deuce is right on his heels, and it could be a situation kind of like what's similar to what's happening in Tuscaloosa between Ty Simpson and Keelan Russell. But if you look at some of the offseason stories that's coming out, people are trying to pick up this narrative about Austin Mack and his chances. I think Austin Mack is set up to be a solid QB2 for whoever the QB1 is for this season. And that's just my personal opinion jumping into the topic, just giving a quick little hit, jab, you know what I'm saying? But fast forward, you look at Florida, they look like they have their guy in DJ Lagway, LSU, Garrett Nussmeier, you know, A&M, they seem to have what's the young man's name? I want to say his last name is Lee. What's the quarterback's name at Texas A&M? And let me go get my my full depth chart of quarterbacks. I always do this, y'all. I start making graphics and then I get distracted because maybe I get a phone call or something. But I gotta stop doing that. I gotta pull this graphic up. All right, so you look at I was talking about not Mississippi State. I was talking about Texas A&M. Marcel Reed. I said Lee. Marcel Reed. You saw him kind of start making some noise last year in certain games. With A&M, I have a question about A&M's offense. What is their identity? Last year they were so up and down and sporadic. Some games they looked like they had explosive offense. Some games they just looked like they didn't know what they were doing. And then, you know, they didn't find a run game. They didn't have a run game last year outside of what the quarterback did, you know, with some of the big plays. So it's going to be interesting to see what A&M quarterback battle looks like. And I mean, threw for 1,800 yards last year, 15 touchdowns, and ran for 500 plus on the ground. So do they transition to more of an RPO style to accent his skill set? That's going to be interesting to see what this looks like for Texas A&M. And then, I mean, just some more kind of QB1 decided. You look at Texas with Archie Manning. Where are his weapons at to help him? We know that he's a great talent. You look at Austin Simmons at Ole Miss. They're going to continue to evolve weapons. I mean, not evolve, but develop. They're going to continue to develop weapons. You look at, I would even go and say, even at Vanderbilt, a lot of their production returning with Diego Pavia in a system that fits his skill set. May not be the prototypical quarterback that you're going to see go number one in the draft, but for a system that fits his skill set, he is very functional. You know, then you go to South Carolina, Lenore Sellers continue to build momentum and grow. Just continue to progress in his growth and his development at the quarterback position. I think he's probably going to be one of the dark horses in the conference as far as quarterback production, and may give South Carolina a 3,500 plus with 30 plus touchdown passing type year, right? I mean, didn't start every game last year, I don't believe. I'm trying to make sure I'm looking at this correctly. He didn't start every game. Helped South Carolina to go 6-0 during his time as a starter. So I'm thinking Sellers and South Carolina may have something brewing up there, and I think it's a fitting season for him. And then we talked about Nussmeyer. We talked about Archie Manning. Austin Simmons is somebody that I'm excited about. And then we got some guys that we're not really sure what's going to happen with them. They kind of showed some spots last year when they got forced into some roles. Talking Gunnar Stockton over at Georgia. Are they going to be able to find enough weapons early enough in the season, big weapons that can be explosive and consistent weapons and that can create production and help him continue to develop? Because I think Gunnar Stockton is a solid quarterback. I really do. Good morning, MJ. Good morning, Sully. Good morning, Mary J. Good morning, everybody in the YouTube chat. Make sure y'all dropping the likes on the stream. Make sure you're sharing. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. And if you're sharing, make sure you send it directly. We've been having a lot of good responses when you all direct message these links to people's inboxes, whether it's on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, whatever. So if you're active on any of those social media sites, or those social media platforms, take a moment right now if you're on YouTube and share, direct message and share it. And then if you're on TikTok, do the same on TikTok. Share it to your TikTok followers. I would greatly appreciate it. Tap that screen. And then on Twitter, retweet this on Twitter. Retweet this on Twitter. Put a hashtag, put me in the game, coach. We're talking SEC quarterbacks here on the Coach Smook Network. So with all of that said, that's my little intro. That's my little segue. Let's get into some details and break this thing down today. All right, y'all ready to get into it? I'm excited. You should be excited here on the Coach Smook Network. And yes, if you're not a member of the AAA family, before we get started, if you're not a member of the AAA family, take the opportunity to become a member of the AAA family. We're doing some special things here. We got some quality recruiting content that's going to be brought forward to the members for the month of June. It won't be made available to the public until July. So all the content, the recruiting content that we have in June is members only. members only. So members, you will get exactly what you asked for. You guys want to know the scoop? I'm going to provide it to you to keep it a consistent flow of it. We're not going to have as many edited versions of content as far as covering recruiting. It'll be a lot of interactive members only lives. We're just putting out direct information. I'm talking about putting names on it, chat. So if you really want to get on the inside scoop and support the Coach Smook Network, become a member. And once again, you have until the end of May to get our AAA memberships at $2.99. YouTube, we're growing, and they're allowing us to go ahead and apply to that status, and they're going to go up to $4.99. $5 a month is going to help you support this network and keep the content driving and put us in position to be in the right spot so that we can get you the information that you so pleasantly desire, so desperately desire. I said pleasantly. So here we go, chat. Y'all ready to get into it? I'm ready to get into it here on the Coach Smook Network. Somebody put in the chat, put me in the game, coach. Let's get into it. I'm ready to talk some doggone football, baby.
You're talking about Jalen Milroe and the Pips? Weak side linebackers, right?
I'm not going to take up a lot of time, but I want to say that I'm excited about what.
Okay, forgive me, my brother. What's on your mind?
Oh, I'm good. I'm just feel sorry for all the other content creators now that we have this mega star back in our presence.
All right, let's get it, chat. I came to the wrong screen, but no big deal. We go to the right scene. I'm on the wrong set. You know the right set? All right. Here we go, chat. So I wanna dive into the topic of conversation today. We want to talk about a few quarterbacks today that I feel like are going to probably have some special seasons, but we also want to talk about a few quarterbacks or a few systems that are looking for answers at the quarterback position. I kind of want to start with my guy, man. And this is a respectful hate when I talk about this young man, and that's none other than Garrett Nussmeier over at LSU. You know, last year, first year as a full-time starter, didn't have to split reps last year. Great wide receiver core last year, experienced tight end in Taylor. This team as a whole was a well put together team, and you saw that didn't make the playoffs. You know, they had a tough schedule, battled some injuries, but when they were healthy, their offense was driven by an efficient quarterback. You know, and Garrett Nussmeier, not only was he efficient, he made plays with his legs too. He's a smart quarterback, not a dynamic runner, but will make some plays with his legs. So I look at him coming into the season, probably the most productive quarterback that we're having it returning in this conference. Started last year in a big game against LSU. I'm trying to fix my camera, y'all. I'm sorry. I look like I'm staring off into space. Like I'm not gonna do that today. I'm not gonna do that. But started off a big game against USC. Played a huge game. They lost that game, I believe. I think they lost that game early in the season. It really wasn't on the offense, if we're being honest. The defense struggled mightily. So I just look at what Garrett Nussmeier brings to the table as a complete quarterback. You see the pocket manipulation there, the touch on the pass, able to throw guys in stride, throw them in stride. So I'm looking at everything that he has available coming back at the wide receiver position. It's poised for Garrett Nussmeier to have a solid season, chat. I'm telling y'all right now, Garrett Nussmeier, QB1 at LSU, right? That's a solid one. I think that's a solid one right there. Let me know what you think about Garrett Nussmeier and what type of stats. Let's get some predictions in there. Do you think this is a 4K year for Nussmeier? I strongly believe this could be a 4K year passing, especially the way we know Kelly likes to open it up offensively, like to see the offense open it up. They have two running backs that I believe can be viable and assets for the passing game, you know, out of the backfield. So just more reason for your quarterback to air the ball out. Their offensive line is going to have to continue to grow like they did towards the end of last year. You know, early in the year last year, they struggled. That's what allowed USC to stay in the game and beat them, their offensive line. So you figure out the offensive line issues with LSU. I think you see Garrett Nussmeier put up Heisman-like numbers, and that's not unheard of for an LSU quarterback. You got to think recent Jaden Daniels. I mean, they go in the portal and get quarterbacks, but they also have developed quarterbacks in their systems and have found a way to get coordinators there that know how to do that. You know, Joe Burrow, Jaden Daniels. I even say Mettenberger before, you know, his fall off. Like they know how to go and get quarterbacks and develop these guys. Now you got Nussmeier. I think he's poised for a solid season. Let's jump over to Texas, man. Y'all know we give Texas a lot of crap over here, but I think Texas quarterback situation is probably the best in the country right now. As far as knowing what direction they want the offense, what they want the offense to look like, right? But then also just to know, like, that they have a future talent in Archie Manning, who has developed into his frame. You're talking, the young man came to college, I believe, weighing like 195. Now weighing in 6'4", about 230 now. Put on about another 5 pounds of muscle since last year. Going into his third year, I think, is this Archie's third year in the system under Steve Sarkisian? Yes, they may need to find some answers outside of Ryan Wingo and you know, whatever the other wide receivers in that room are. You know, yes, they may have to go and find those answers, but that's not act like that Texas doesn't have talent. Yes, they may have to find some answers at the on the offensive line, but they still have a talented quarterback. A quarterback who they believe if he was to enter, a lot of believe who if he was to enter the draft next year after just 1 year as a full-time starter, that he will be a top 3 quarterback in the next year's draft. And I look at the skill set of Arch Manning, you know, not just but behind the name, but the hype, the smart. He's very smart on the field. As we look at some of the highlights, he's very smart, a very smart player, and didn't have to play in any pressure minutes. And the pressure minutes he did get rotated in, you know, during those games, he provided some quality reps. He provided quality production to the point where you almost question why was he not, you know, afforded the opportunity to remain the starter. You know, we saw games where Quinn Ewers struggled heavily, and they would put in Arch Manning and he would spark the offense, and then they would put Ewers back in. And when Ewers got injured, I think they only lost their game because of the defensive production, if I'm being honest. So I'm not going to give Texas crap today when it comes to their quarterback position. I think they're in a good position, a very versatile quarterback. Everybody talks about, you know, being mobile, being able to get out. He's not fast by any means, probably a 4.6 guy, but game speed, very decisive in his running, north and south. Not going to provide a lot of negative plays. His awareness is there. I think one thing I like about Archie Manning is he's not reckless with the ball. And for that reason, I think Texas may be able to sustain, but they're going to have to find some weapons quick, because that pressure to produce is natural. And quarterbacks are going to press when they feel like they're not producing in an explosive offensive system, especially when you have the skill set like Archie Manning. You'll start to see guys pressing. That's when you see them start to decline as far as production. And that's when you have like that sophomore slump type of year. So Texas and Archie Manning are looking good. Texas and Archie Manning are looking good in my book. What do y'all think? And I think Archie Manning is another, you know, 38, 3,500 passing. I think it's only low for him because of the questions you have to answer. And also, I think he could be close to a 5K year, because they have a lot of weapons. You mess around and find those weapons in the first 2-3 weeks of the season. With that schedule, they have Ohio State opening up the first week. And then after that, you know, you get 3 weeks to kind of play around with your weapons and look. Man, you mess around, you can have Archie Manning throwing for 350 plus for the first 4 weeks in the season, or first 3 weeks out of the 4 weeks of the season. And he'd be a 1,000-yard passer going into this 5th game. You know, 1,200 yards going into his 5th game with 7 more games to go, averaging, you know, 300 plus. That's 2,100 yards. Put you right at the 4,300 mark. You got to think he's going to have a 400-yard passing game the way the Sarkisian likes to open it up. And he's a lot more accurate passer. The deep ball looks a lot better than what Quinn Ewers had last year. So I think Archie Manning and Texas are in a good position. All right. I think they're in a good position. Now let's jump over to Florida. I've been hype on Florida. I'm not a Florida fan by any means, but I've been very hype on Florida. I've been high on Florida this offseason. I think they started to put together and answer a lot of questions towards the end of last season, as far as the offensive questions, the offensive issues that they were experiencing. And it stemmed a lot from the quarterback position and not being able to find balance in the run game. DJ Lagway provides you, fixes that because he provides you production with his legs. He adds to your run game. But then in your pass game, he has a accurate arm, and his timing is there. His timing is there. And I think Florida always has undercover athletes on their roster. Their issue has always been inconsistent quarterback over the last few years. You have super athletic quarterbacks that either struggle with accuracy in the mid-range, something that DJ Lagway struggled with last year as a first-time starter, as a freshman, I believe. Lagway's a freshman last year, right? So you just look at the situation, and he grew. I think he progressed just like he should have in last year's system. And Billy Napier allowing that offensive scheme to be called by the offensive coordinator, I think that helped DJ Lagway too. Him taking his hands off of the play calling and allowing the coordinator to have full control. I think it played a lot of, and you just see this ball right here, being able to step up, not having most solid platform, but to throw a 30-40 yard pass on the dime, on the rope, right? High and outside on the rope. I mean, it's just he's a solid guy. He's a solid quarterback. Stands tall in the pocket. He's going to give you touch when you need touch. Going to be able to be a strong runner for you when he gets outside the pocket. DJ Lagway is probably going to be, and I don't think this year is going to have a super productive year. I think for the style of offense that they're going to run, right? Where they're going to see how they want the offense, how balanced they want it to be. I think he's going to be a 800-yard rusher. 29, 3,100-yard passer. I can even see Lagway getting, 25, 26 passing touchdowns, 10 plus rushing. I don't see him having a Tebow-like season, for my Florida fans out there. I don't see him having like that type of production because just the way that some of the defenses are going to play him this year. And I think their defense is going to help them grind out a lot of games. This is an offense I believe can win. DJ Lagway can help this offense average anywhere from, 24 to 31 points, and that be a solid offense. Alabama was the number 3 ranked scoring offense in the SEC last year with 33.8 points per game. And we saw how we struggled last year. You look at DJ Lagway in this offense at 31 doesn't put you far off that average from last year, that area from last year. If you can get close to that, your offense looks to be in a good position. And then same with the defense, you're helping the defense out. Just can't turn the ball over. That's going to be my only gripe with DJ Lagway. All right, chat. Look in here. We at the 30-minute mark, at the halfway mark. Right here, I want you to take a moment right now while we're sitting here and listening to Coach Smook talk about these doggone quarterbacks here. Let me see something right here. Hold on real quick. Let's get to the podium. Let's get to the studio real quick. All right, chat. Let me see. I need y'all to do something for me right now. While we're sitting here enjoying this live stream, enjoying all the content, I need y'all right now to go and personally share this with somebody. And with this message, when you share this, I need your comment to say, or your status to say, hottest SEC football talk. Hottest SEC football talk. Hot SEC football talk. One of the two. Hot SEC football talk. That's the trend right now. That's what we want to get caught up in. So right now, share it. Whether you share it on the platform, share it in somebody's DM. Hot SEC football talk. We're talking SEC quarterbacks here on the Coach Smook Network. And while you're coming in, make sure you're liking the stream over here. Make sure you're liking the stream over here on YouTube. I appreciate you all for liking the content here on the Coach Smook Network. While we're talking SEC football, our SEC quarterbacks, we've already talked about LSU, Florida. Talked a little bit about Texas A&M in our opening. We're gonna get into some under the radar guys next, right? And then we're going to get into the battles, the true QB battles in the quarterback room across the SEC. So as you dive into the show, make sure you like and share it, chat. Make sure you like and share it. Don't forget to subscribe. We're almost at our 3.1K. All right. We appreciate you all for showing up and being here with the Coach Smook Network. Again, thank you. Let's get into it, chat. Jumping back into the show here on the Coach Smook. I'm trying to get this the transition set up correctly. They don't want to act right, but we're gonna get it right.
You're talking about Jalen Milroe and the Pips?
Perfect weak side linebacker, right?
I'm not going to take up a lot of time, but I want to say that I'm excited about what.
Okay, forgive me, my brother. What's on your mind?
Oh, I'm good. I'm just still sorry for all the other content creators now that we have this mega star back in our presence.
So I look at the as the video doesn't want to play correctly as we come into the show. But I look at where we're at right now in college football, man, and you have situations in college football where you have a quarterback situation like you have at Ole Miss. You know, you kind of get the luxury of developing a guy in Jackson Dart, but then you also get the you get the luxury in having a guy in Jackson Dart that you get to develop in your system, and he just continues to grow. He's able to progress in your system, excel in your system in Coach Lane Kiffin. But then you get to recruit a guy in Austin Simmons, right? He fits the exact mold and the exact archetype, right? Archetype of what you want when you design your quarterback for your system. He's tall, 6'4", 6'5", right? He has the girth, 220, 230, has the smarts, has the skill sets, baseball player mindset. Everybody knows Lane Kiffin loves baseball. He loves his quarterbacks that can get out there and sling the rock because they, you know, that they have that quarterback-like mindset, that quarterback accuracy. We look at his size, like I said, 6'4", 215. He's actually put on some weight this year. He's about 230 right now. So 6'4", 6'5", 230, going into his sophomore year. Last year, you see some of the highlights from his 2024 season that we're looking at. I like his arm talent, chat. I think I like, and more so how he throws on the move. The deep ball and how he throws on the move is probably the best thing. His downfall is going to be the underneath, being able to dissect those coverages and things, not getting, you know, caught in some of those mixed looks, because Lane Kiffin's system gets you into those one-sided reads, right, that help you progress and help you develop. And sometimes, like we saw with Jalen Hurts and even Blake Sims, you know, when you have athletic quarterbacks, they get forced into those one-sided reads because you want them to utilize their, or be able to lean on their athleticism, you know, in pressure situations. You start to see their production start to decline. So hopefully we don't see that from Austin Simmons, you know, just from a football fan standpoint, because he's a great talent. Like I said, tall quarterback, big quarterback, get outside the pocket. You got to wrap him up. You got to wrap him up. He's not going to burn you. He's not going to pull away from you downfield, but he will get the extra yards. And more so, I think on the deep ball, the way he can layer his deep balls, his deep passes, to me, is kind of like what I think we're going to see from Keelan Russell. And when we say layer, you know, some deep passes you want a lot of air under them so a guy can run under them. You know, some deep passes you want it, you know, on a rope with a little elevation and air under it as possible, right? And then some of them you want a moderate height with a drag type speed, or you get what I'm saying? Like, there are different balls you want, and Austin Simmons layers his passes very well. So I think Ole Miss QB1 situation is pretty locked up too. Now, a dark horse in the conference that I want to talk about, and I don't have any B-roll that I want to look at because I don't think he has much to look at. I ain't gonna say he has much to look at, but I don't think we need to go and look at what he did last year. Is the young man Lenore Sellers, man, up at South Carolina. Lenore Sellers at South Carolina. To me, what the young man, what was the young man that was just at Arkansas, and I think he went to UCF recently. I can't remember the young man's name. He was at Arkansas. You all know who I'm talking about. He was at Arkansas, and then he transferred to UCF this past year. Had a huge injury that put him out for the whole season. Was having good seasons at Arkansas. They just couldn't put anything around him. Couldn't put it much around him. Got to UCF and had the injury. But I think Sellers coming in this year, after the progression we saw from him last year, Sellers might be a front runner from all SEC second team QB, and I'm saying that over whatever quarterback starts at Alabama, whatever quarterback starts at Georgia, Ole Miss. I think Sellers might be your second team all SEC quarterback. And I'm just saying this because he's going to have opportunities to do more for his team than I think other quarterbacks in the conference will this year. You know, without the narrative and the backing of the experience and all of the hype behind him, I think when you turn the page and you look at what's happening at South Carolina offensively, is going to be directly centered around his production. And I don't think it's a lot of defenses that are going to be able to box him in, you know, create different looks for him. And you're going to have to take advantage. You're going to have an offense when you play South Carolina that can take advantage of South Carolina's early mistakes, because he won't make the same mistake a lot of twice. You're going to have to be a good coordinator and have a solid defense, a executing defense, a high rate executing defense that can really disturb him. Because one, his mental is there, kind of like I feel with Simmons. Same way I feel you get the same feels with Mateer over at Oklahoma. The mental is there. The skill set is definitely there. And then the toughness, right? The physicality from Sellers is there. And so I think with him is about same thing I kind of feel with Archie Manning at Texas. I think they have weapons right now at South Carolina. They have that 6'7", 6'8" wide receiver. I know for a fact that's going to be one of his friends. You got a big quarterback in Sellers. That jump ball is something that's easy for those type of guys to throw. And that's going to be a problem to defend, but also just allowing him to be utilized in the run game. A system with his running style, because he don't run indecisive like Milroe did. He don't run loose with the ball. He's a strong runner, and he protects his body. So Sellers might be all SEC, second team all the SEC. That's one of my dark horses. Another dark horse I got in this conference, man, that I believe is just going to maybe surprise some. But I gave them a little flack for last year, but I think this year they might end up having some weapons because they win the portal. They got a few guys. They're struggling to find identity, but I think Blake Shapen, I believe his name is, at Mississippi State. I think he might put up numbers. I think Mississippi State might put up numbers this year. Looking at that veer and shoot air raid type style of offense that I see them adapting, you know, that up tempo style is not going to be I forget the coach's name. It's not going to be his style. I'm drawing a blank because my breakfast time is breakfast time. And we coming up on that 45-minute mark to where we start getting our closing statement and getting into the two big quarterback battles of the offseason. But who I was talking about? Blake Shapen over at Mississippi State. I think that's going to be a explosive offense. I think they're going to be able to put up numbers against, you know, some of the lower end teams. They're going to be able to be in the game for, you know, first halves for against a lot of teams. But I think he's going to have an explosive year. And then questions about quarterbacks. Let's jump into that before we talk about our quarterback battle. What is Garner Stockton going to do this year? What is Garner Stockton going to do? We know the narrative behind Georgia quarterbacks first year starting, how they struggled, this, that, and the third. You know, I think with the playoff expansion and how the season is played out now and how rosters are utilized, I think Garner Stockton is going to have to really persevere through some identity things with Georgia and their offense this year. If I'm not mistaken, they had RB1 hit the portal. ETN's going from last year. I know they're excited about the guy that was behind RB1 projected, but I don't believe there's a time where we can really say that Georgia has come into a season and been decisively had like of offensive weapons like during the time where they had Brock Bowers and Ladd McConkey for those 2 years where they were the guys. Now Brock Bowers coming out year, his freshman year, you know, nobody was really talking about him other than Georgia fans. Everybody was telling us to look out for him. We knew how highly rated he was coming into the college game, right? So I look at it now and I say, what can Garner Stockton do stepping into this position, not having that available, right? Got some athletes out there, but nothing proven. What can he do? What can he do with his opportunity this year? Right? We talk about Aguilera over at Tennessee. We know the situation at Tennessee. I think AG is a solid quarterback. I just don't think he's Nico. Can Heupel in that system find a way to, you know, and I don't think you'd have to dumb down the system. This ain't like something that happened in a week and they got to get ready. They had a whole spring to evaluate them. They got a full fall to evaluate them. I think they're going to be in a good position to do something with the Tennessee offense. I just don't think he was as good as Nico and some of the things that you would have been able to do against some of your more experienced defenses that you're going to have across the SEC. That we'll be doing a topic about that on Wednesday, tomorrow. SEC defenses, where the SEC defenses rank, right? But AG over at Tennessee, I think he's going to have some issues this year. What can he do? What is he going to be? Kentucky has quarterback questions, right? Don't want to dive into it, you know. I think this is a rebound year. Green over at Arkansas, same thing. They're just in a rebuild. The culture is a full rebuild, right? they that's what their culture is about, rebuilding. They're never done rebuilding. Big homie, appreciate the gifts over there on TikTok. I'm sorry I didn't have the chat up on TikTok, y'all. And the 1.6K likes over on TikTok right now on the stream, man. We got viewers over there tapping the screen. Make sure y'all continue to tap the screen. And if you're not following me on TikTok, continue to follow. Make sure you hit that follow button while you're here on the stream. And then also come over to YouTube. Jump over on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel. This is where our primary content is when we're talking college football, college sports. All right, appreciate y'all for that. Now, let's jump into the comments before we go into this last little divulge of quarterback competition in the SEC between some of the main KJ Jefferson fence post. That's who I was talking about. Yes, you're absolutely right. And I think Lenore Sellers has that type of production for South Carolina, but unlike Arkansas, when he was at Arkansas, KJ Jefferson, South Carolina has some weapons for Lenore Sellers. So appreciate that reference there. Appreciate you for getting me hooked up there. Ayo Sully said, can't remember last time Mississippi State was relevant since Dak Prescott. Man, they had your boy Will Rogers down there for a minute now. The offenses was going crazy with that boy Will Rogers. Let's give him some respect. Let's give him a little respect. But you're absolutely right. Mike Leach, big homie. That's who I was talking about. Air Raid, Mr. Leach. Appreciate you. What else? Dude lit up a good Georgia team. Facts. He lit up a good Georgia team. And I think we were talking about either DJ Lagway or were we talking about who's the other guy that lit up Georgia last year? God dang it, man. Who was it, chat? It was Lagway. Oh, Austin Simmons. Austin Simmons was having a good game against Georgia when he had to come in. Austin Simmons was. Oh, ain't nobody. I thought it was important. Nah, not Vandergriff. Not Vandergriff. Vandergriff over at Kentucky, isn't he? Isn't Brock Vandergriff over at Kentucky? They need weapons, man. They need weapons at Kentucky. I think Kentucky's had good quarterbacks over the last few years. They don't know how to get more than one weapon. They don't know how to get more than one weapon, chat. Oh, I don't even have the chat on the screen, so y'all can't even see what's happening. My fault, y'all. I'm sitting here talking to y'all, trying to get y'all to chat, and I don't have a chat box on the screen. Let me get this. Hold up. Let me get this for y'all. There you go. All right, chat it up. Chat it up. Y'all should be able to be seen now. Y'all chat it up. Let me see. Let's make sure the chat is on the screen. I hate when that happens, man. I like for y'all words and stuff to be on the screen. There it is. All right, there we go. So now y'all chat's on the screen. All right, so we were talking Austin Simmons for Ole Miss, how he was lighting Georgia up. And I'm telling you, man, Georgia's gonna have to, I don't know. I just feel like Georgia's gonna be in a lot of situations where we're gonna find out what Gunnar Stockton and who he is very soon in the season. And I'm thinking like week 4, week 5. Kentucky will have a new starter next year. This season, this season, Kentucky will have a new starter this season. Because Vandergriff isn't there. Let's see. Because I haven't followed them this offseason with their with the portal and everything. Calzada, you talking about Calzada from wasn't that the kid from Boston College? No, that was the other kid. Calzada was from, what was Calzada from, chat? A&M. Texas A&M transfer. Right? He was somewhere before A&M, and then he went to A&M, if I'm not mistaken, right? If I'm not mistaken, chat. Gunnar Stockton got that Benjamin Button. Y'all stupid. Texas A&M. Yep, that's him. Facts, big homie. And that kid, Bo Allen, he in that room too. Oh, snap. Fence post coming through with the doggone $20 super chat. Let's go, man. Hey, W's in the chat for that guy Fence post, man. Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you, man. Let's go. There we go. Now the crowd sound right. There we go. Appreciate that $20 and becoming the first co-sponsor on today's stream, man. We greatly appreciate it. Hey, did y'all see the alert? Did the alert pop up anywhere? Y'all heard it, didn't it? Just give me my money. Y'all remember that little thing? Hey, do it. Somebody do another super chat so we can see it again. Don't just play it. Don't do it. But nah, all right. Jumping into the last topic, I was just kind of getting the screen set up for this last topic. I want to jump into this because everybody wants to talk about it. And we'll start with the little brother. MJ, Calzada was at Auburn too? I don't even remember him at Auburn. That's crazy. All right, let's get into it, y'all. Let's get into it. Let's talk about Auburn's quarterback position. Let's talk about Auburn's quarterback battle. Let's get into it. So right now, Auburn on their roster right now, they have 4 scholarship quarterbacks. And realistically, I think they're set on, Jackson Arnold, right? But I look at some of the reports and I look at their spring game. I look at Auburn's spring game. And I look at what they kind of tried to showcase as far as what they want to showcase in the spring game. I look at Hugh Freeze's history as far as a play caller, the style of play calling he desires. What's up, Try to Put No Sports? Good to see you in the chat, my brother. But you look at the quarterback room, and they have 4 scholarship quarterbacks on roster, 3 that they believe are in the competition. As far as QB1, you got transfer Jackson Arnold coming from Oklahoma. You got Ashton Daniels, senior transfer, right? Another guy. I just, some of these senior transfer moves were very questionable, in my opinion. Ashton Daniels, we saw him at Stanford really struggle. Never really solidified himself as a starter, I believe. Never provided any quality production. You look at his career stats, let's pull them up. 10 touchdowns, 12 interceptions during 2024. Over his career, I mean, nothing impressive over his career. Most passing yards in the game, you see 121, 298 passing against Louisville in 2024 last year, and we know what that was with Louisville. But nothing impressive from the young man. But that's that quarterback situation. You got Jackson Arnold, who we saw at Oklahoma last year, struggled mightily. They believe a lot of people credit that to the offensive play caller, the offensive coordinator. I saw Jackson Arnold. I saw flaws in his game. When everybody was talking about his Elite 11 rankings and all of this, everybody looks good at camp to a certain degree, right? Everybody looks good in practice to a certain degree. It was things that I saw from his highlights and film that I was like, that's not going to cut it at the collegiate level. And I think he can develop. He's a smart kid. The deep ball accuracy was off last year. Very smart underneath though. So Jackson Arnold in the Auburn quarterback room with all those weapons, can they solidify him? Can he get the ball to those big play receivers that he has available in that wide receiver room? And then Deuce Knight, the young freshman, they're super excited about him. A developmental talent, in my opinion. I've always said that about him. I know they was giving him like top quarterback rankings in the class. I think you put him and Keelan Russell next to each other. Keelan Russell is head and shoulders above every quarterback in this 25 class. The measurables, everything that you want in a quarterback, head and shoulders. Yes, Bryce Underwood is below Deuce Knight in my opinion. Yes. What's his name? Julius Washington? Is that his name? Yeah, he's number 2, number 3 maybe. He's in that battle. Keelan Russell is head and shoulders above every quarterback in this 25 recruiting class. But Auburn has that quarterback competition there. It's going to be interesting. I think for me, with Hugh Freeze, whichever quarterback can get on the move, can throw off schedule, right, this year, with some of the questions that they're going to have to answer on the offensive line, whoever can play the best off schedule is going to be the guy that helps Auburn be a successful offense until they get settled on that front and then getting that protection squared away and I think the run game is going to be effective too. So Auburn in a good position. Now, closing out today's segment, man, the last 5 minutes here, let's dive into the quarterback conversation at Alabama. And Coach Smook is going to say this. I'm going to say this, and I'm going to leave it at this. Smook is going to say this. I think right now Alabama is down to a 2 QB race for QB1. I think this staff right now has decided right now who quarterback QB let me see, let me get this B roll up. I think this staff has decided who QB2 is going to be right now. I think they're going to roll with Austin Mack is QB2, right? And being that they are going to run with Austin Mack, I think he has to be QB2, because if you're going with QB2, that means you're trying to go with a different variation of the offense, right? You're trying to change up your play calling. You're making an adjustment to adhere to some type of adjustment, some type of major adjustment without evading your system. And I think when you look at the quarterbacks available in the room and you talk about skill sets available, who are more similar? Which three out of the three? Which two are more similar than the other? And when you look at it like that, I look at it and I say Austin Mack is different from Ty Simpson and Keelan Russell. One, the anatomical makeup, his archetype, his build and everything is different. His throwing style is different. The type of throws that he is more efficient at is different. So I think he's your viable QB2, and this is just philosophy thinking and looking at how they've done it in the past with Kalen DeBoer's staff. Looking at it in the past, where QB1 was set as one style of quarterback and QB2 had those skill sets, but was a different style of quarterback that understood the system just as good. And let's be honest, Austin Mack has the most experience in this system. He has the most knowledge in this system. Now, QB1 situation. I think right now, coming out of the spring, you look at it, I think Ty Simpson is QB1. I think Keelan Russell is QB2, right? But not in the sense that Ty is the starter, right? I think he's first option to maybe start a game. But I think when you look at the production reps numbers, if Ty Simpson doesn't separate himself and fall as far as, consistently being productive, reducing the turnovers, I think he's doing the locker room. I think he's checked the blocks in the locker room just from hearing from personal experience. I know he's checking the block in the locker room. It's going to be literally on-field performance, how everything meshes. Can he continue to keep the staff's attention and not allow the true freshman and Keelan Russell to showcase that he's just as effective in that same situation? And he can get out with his legs. And we know game time situations is different. So right now for the QB1 battle at Alabama, I truly believe that this situation, there's going to be, regardless of who starts game one, Keelan Russell will have sets. I truly believe that. I think in mop-up time, you will see Russell first before you see Austin Mack. But in games where you might see a situation where the offense is struggling in the game and we're in the game to try to win it, do not be surprised if Austin Mack gets rolled out there to help the run game, right? Do not surprised if Russell gets rolled out there, after a four drives of not scoring, and Russell's get thrown out there and is given the same play calls as Ty Simpson would have as a starter, or vice versa. And then with all the weapons available, a lot of unprovens, right? A lot of young guys that have an opportunity to prove themselves this year coming in as sophomores. Rico Scott, Jaden Mbakwe. Then you got some explosive guys returning. Jam Miller, Richard Young, Jeremy Bernard, Ryan Williams. I'm saying the lyrics to the song, chat. I'm singing the lyrics to the song. Yeah, y'all know it's Show's song, man. Shout out to Show and Do the Gang fam, man. But Cole Adams coming back, another weapon. Jalen Hale coming back, another weapon. You go on the portal, you get Isaiah Horton, a lot of weapons. You get freshmen, Latia Brooks, Derek Meadows, 6'5", 220, 210, 220, something like that. Another big weapon. Y'all, Derek Meadows' development, I don't know what's happening in college athletics or as far as development, but the type of progression that I see kids developing, and yes, it'd be on-air workouts or whatever you want to call it, but there are certain things, when you have an eye for the game and you know how to evaluate talent, when you see certain things happening during workouts, you get amazed. Isaiah Horton is a freak in nature, but I would not be surprised if Derek Meadows gets, 3 to 4 opportunities a game. The wide receiver room is stacked. You got running backs. Offensive line has personnel. Getting the best 5 on the field is what it's going to be. QB1 at Bama, I think it's still open. Ty Simpson right now is QB1. The competition, if it goes past the first scrimmage in the fall, game 1 against Florida State is going to be real interesting for the University of Alabama and our fan base. I promise y'all. So, with that being said, I want to thank everybody for tapping in today, man. Y'all really made it. Y'all really made it a stream again. Appreciate y'all. As always, man, y'all come in, y'all show love, y'all get their comments running up. We get our segments done. We do what we do, man. We do what we do. We do what we do, man. We show love. We do what we do. Again, a few announcements before we get out of here, man. I just want to thank everybody. We got our dashboard reset for the merch. So if you all are looking to purchase the new merch, we are going to do a hard lunch on this Friday. I didn't want to just drop it in, but I do want to do hard lunch Friday. And before we get out of here, man, make sure y'all like and share the stream. Let's continue to praise God, man. I woke up this morning with a heart of Thanksgiving. You know, yesterday was my birthday. Thank y'all for the birthday wishes too yesterday, AAA family. And even if you're not a AAA supporter, you support the network, you support Coach Smook. I greatly appreciate that. On TikTok, y'all showed crazy love yesterday too. I appreciate y'all during the gaming stream. Y'all came in there, had some fun. Again, like and share, subscribe to the channel. We're almost at 3.1K. Merch, shout out to all of our sponsors, all of our partners. You know who you are. We greatly appreciate you. Recording ads all summer so that in August we run in our ads in all of our shows. Again, AAA family, you guys are the best. I want to thank you for supporting me, supporting the network, supporting the content, and being genuine people, man. Being genuine people. That's all I ask for is for people to just be genuine. For people to be genuine, be authentic, be themselves. You don't have to agree with me. You don't have to like everything I say. But just be genuine, be respectful, be yourself. And you won't have any issues with me or from me. I love you all. You all be blessed. Stay encouraged. Make sure y'all check out my words of encouragement. I'm going to be posting them through my Smook Hines page. Go follow those pages. Smook Hines on YouTube is at Smook Hines on YouTube. I'm about to post some encouragement, and I got some vlog stuff that we'll be posting. I'm starting to share my journey. If you all want to know the truth, the real behind the scenes, I don't want to put it on this side of my platform or my content. I'm putting like some raw story, and it's not to create drama, but I think people need to know how crazy this industry is, and how how when you really trust in God, it don't matter what type of people you cross, whether I told a former quote unquote friend / brother last night. I texted him. I said, I can't wait to see you in person. I can't wait to see you in person, because I want them to physically see that, we still standing tall, man. This network is still standing tall. And I want to share that story because some people stop chasing their content dreams or their goals because of people speaking on their name and talking crazy or undercutting them or stabbing them in the back or selling out. So I'm trying to share that journey to include other things, like as we continue to share how we deal with it and share how we deal with how we use it to fuel us, to put us in position and put us in spots to take advantage of opportunities. And that, to me, hurt allows you to heal and grow to a point where when you start to see signs of things that can hurt you for the worse, you're not going to get anything out of it. You'll avoid those situations and keep yourselves from going through unnecessary drama, unnecessary heartache. So I'm going to continue to push this narrative of being authentic, because that's what I am, authentic above everything, above all. I love being an authentic person, but more than that, I love who God created me to be, man. And I'm going to continue to preach what the good news is when it comes to college sports, when it comes to Alabama athletics, when it comes to high school recruiting, when it comes to athletes and promoting them, giving them opportunities. I'm going to continue to push this assignment and push with the vision and the gift that God has given me. So with that being said, I want to thank each and every one of you for tapping in today on the network. And remember, man, like, share, subscribe, follow on each platform at Coach Smook, at Smook Hines, and Coach Smook Gaming. And remember, when you see me in the streets, holler at me and say, put me in the game, Coach Smook. I'll catch y'all on the next one. Y'all be blessed. Don't do nothing I wouldn't do.
Remember, when you see me in the streets, holler at me. Say, put me in the game, Coach Smook.
Put me in the game, Coach Smook. Put me in the game, Coach Smook.